Hey, this is Sam Black, and I'm back with my second match of this triple Mirrodin draft. And I have a lot of hover guards that I can't cast. I think I'm going to send this one back rather than relying on this transfixer to try to buy me time. And this is much better. I have at least all of my colors of mana. Still expensive spells, but at least I have an accelerator, and there are a lot of cards that I can draw. Most of my deck is very cheap, so basically every draw is good at this point, so I'm happy to start with this. My opponent is also mulliganed. I do want to land. That will let me cast this looming hover guard at some point. I'll consider keeping the black as a surprise, depending on what I draw. An artifact land would be pretty good, then I could play the Somber Hover Guard. That'll do. Now I can play the Somber Hover Guard next turn. If I draw a land, I can play the Looming Hover Guard. Ooh, the combo. Alright, I'm going to play the Somber Hover Guard before the Looming Hover Guard, because I don't think that my opponent's going to be able to resist putting the Gauntlet on the Ocean Soldier, and then I can put the Ocean Soldier on top, buy a bunch of time. So, as advertised, I get rid of that guy and attack for 4. Seems like a fine time to attack with everything and use the Irradiate. Now I have my opponent dead in 2 attacks in the air, so this the Ocean Soldier doesn't matter. Alright, that was quick and effective. Such a weird game. Just not the kind of thing that happens in formats these days, it seems like. The tempo play of the hover guard on the equipped creature is just so huge. It doesn't really feel like it, but suddenly it's the whole game. Lorak Transfixer is very good against the Yoshin Soldier Volshok Gauntlets combo, but I don't know that my opponent's deck is going to do that constantly, so I'll stick with just one. Obviously, I saw equipment, and the blue-white deck generally likes equipment, so Rustbor Ram is going to be good. I don't really see any reason to change anything. I could cut Pewter Golem. It's probably my weakest card. It's kind of clunky, and I don't really need it to win. I could see cutting that for either of these little white creatures, or just for Sunbeam Spellbomb. Yeah, I think this is not where I want to be, especially against potential flyers and stuff. Leonine Elder actually looks pretty good when I had it in. I'm gonna try it out here. I think it's reasonably likely that the game against blue-white will come down to a tempo situation, or just my trying to take control while my opponent's the aggressor, and the life gain from the Elder can really add up. Plus, it's just an early creature to hold longbows, which is not something that can be said of the Pewter Golem. And knowing that my opponent isn't red makes it better to just have one toughness creature in my deck. So as long as I have some time while I'm waiting. I didn't get to mention during the draft because I jumped straight into things. This is actually probably the limited format I've played the most. So I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what's important, although it has been a lot of years and I definitely don't remember everything. But I think the thing I'm struggling most with is remembering the pacing, because I know that big stuff mattered, like you got to cast expensive spells, and things like Betrayal of Flesh are awesome, but at the same time I know I liked having lots of cheap cards. I'm obviously going to mulligan this hand. And I'm on the draw, and I get to scry, and I have a Spellbomb to try to draw into something, and I don't want to go to 5, and I have Crystal Shard, which is great. I think that's enough to trick myself into keeping this hand. I don't like it. Definitely do want any land. I would prefer white, but I just need number at this point. It's extremely likely that I'm just going to cycle this Aether Spellbomb. Right now, in fact, try to draw planes. This isn't a bad card to have if I can draw some more lands. Drawing 2 lands is really important. Alright, it's part of the way there. I want this to be a surprise, so I'll play the Soldier Replica. Plus, I don't really want to bounce Narok Familiar. That is not the right way to deal with that card. Probably end up needing to irradiate at some point, although Rust Borer, I guess if I draw land I can just Rust Borer him with the Bone Splitter and then try to ignore the flyer. What does that do? Slightly annoying. Alright, I have so much spin mana and I can't not play this. I guess my opponent's going to get to tap the Soldier Replica, so I might as well attack with it. Oh, under your control. Never mind. I mean, my opponent could just play Ocean Soldier and tap this, but in all likelihood, there would just be a block here, and if, I guess, a block there does lead to getting totally destroyed by Whale of the Nim, but kind of can't expect my opponent to play around that, just because I doubt my opponent's played the format much in the last 10 years, if ever. It was probably a good attack, but the one life is not what this game is going to be about. That's kind of a problem. Well, I guess I have the Rust Borer Ram, but and I mean, if I draw land, I can Rust Borer Ram and then bounce the Rust Borer Ram and Rust Borer Ram again. This game is just going to be about whether I can draw like 2 lands in a row, which I cannot, so I'm basically dead. Taking 5, failing to bounce something. Then if I draw a land for the Rust Borer Ram, taking 6, that's substantially worse. Well, I guess dead either way. Yeah, I can't win. Rust Borer Ram's definitely great here, though. I think my desire to add a land is being results oriented, although I do have a lot of good expensive stuff. Maybe it's better to just have the extra land. I also have the Longbows as a mana sink. Yeah, I think I could use an extra land. I want Cobalt Golem to block those little flyers. Nim Replica also deals with them, as does Soldier Replica. Feels like one Transfixer is good. I'm going to cut Nim Replica and add a Plains. Especially since I'm on the play. Seems right. And I'm not terribly likely to flood out because I have so much good expensive stuff. Obviously I have to mulligan here. And I can keep this top. I'm not going to play my artifacts because I'm going to save them for the Elder. Let's give this guy always yield. And an always yes. Quicksilver Elemental. What is that? This. Oh, it only reveals one card. Got it. So into the graveyard. Oh, cool. Well, that's a thing. It would be nice to get this as a surprise, but I think it's more expensive than it's worth to try to set that up. So I'll just do this and pass and see how hard my opponent is willing to work to not be exposed to this. Oh, this is kind of annoying. I guess I can skip my main phase. I should have stopped my upkeep. I guess since this didn't attack, I'll just skip combat. Maybe I should have cycled the Aether Spell while I'm there. Alright, good. Still might give me a chance to hit this mask. Ocean Soldier. Let's terror this thing. And then bounce the Ocean Soldier. That's better than cycling the Spellbomb. Oh, I misclicked which thing I was doing. Okay, fine. Well, this will work out eventually. Alright. Okay, so we'll just trade blows with Mask of Memory. I'm good with that. You get to play mine, put the Ocean Soldier on top, hit with this thing. And then the 3/3 flyer will give me mask control. And now I can play the Angel next turn. Oh. It's cool. If I move this, I could work pretty hard to connect. Like, I could move this, play longbow and equip and shoot this. I think it's better to just get the Angel down while my opponent is tapped out. Skip hitting with the mask this turn, and then just really take over. with a lot of mana and longbow and the ability to hit with mask and making 1/1 flyers and having giant creatures. It's interesting that in this format, 3/3 and 4/4 flyers really are giant creatures. I hope if you haven't taken anything else away from this draft, you see how absurd Looming Hoverguard is in this format. The only blue card I had when I took it, I believe, was Seed of the Synod. I had 2 other colors, but it's just such an absurd card that I want to move into it from basically anywhere. I think this was one of the uncommons that I had the most of from drafting this when it was in print. Basically never pass it. I assume my opponent is mostly just coming to terms with the fact that they can't win, rather than debating between good options at this point. Would like them to make a play. Rest that thing. It's not the way you want to deal with that creature. Alright, so let's play a longbow. Put a longbow on the Elder. Kill this thing. Put a mask on this thing. I'm gonna end up chump blocking the spirit, but that's fine. I guess I'll play the other bow. That'll let my opponent connect with the Ocean Soldier, but it also means that I get to keep this flying spirit around, which is good because it means that I get to use longbows with it. I'm pretty okay with my opponent getting the mass kit, really. So this is going to be equip, shoot this thing. Ideally play some kind of creature. I could just irradiate the Ocean Soldier. I'll hold on to these. Okay. Yeah. That was a reasonable spot to concede. This was not going to be getting better. It's going to be pass when it attacks, kill it, and then the longbows should basically control most everything else. If anything's too big, I can just chump block with the spirits. I can longbow my opponent out while doing that. Yeah, deck is definitely a machine in the late game.